أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In this video, I'm going to expose a very serious issue that no one can deny. And as I said, scientists, especially one in the medical field, must have different perception and idea on what Islam is. Because it's our profession, like military, is all geared to the teaching of Islam. So please let us respect ourselves and understand the position of profession, understanding Islam. Now, like you can't operate on the floor. You can only resuscitate on the floor. So understand what I meant. You can't operate on the floor, but you can resuscitate, bring up a patient. So if there such kind of reasoning, I'm just asking you, because we Muslims talk out of range. Except Islam is not science. Now, what is the meaning of the word shart? What is its position? In this book, it said, Al-shartu kullu hukumu ma'alumin yata'allaku bi-amrin yaka'u bi-waqi'ihi. Bi-waqu'ihi. وذلك الأمر كالعلامة له وشرائط وقد اشترطت كذا ومنه قيل للعلامة شرط وأشراط ساعة علاماتها فقد جاءت أشراطها. This is what is important. If I tell you that our situation today, we Muslims, is just like the period of Makkah. 2,000 years without a messenger, a prophet. That's why it is called period of Jahiliyyah. Just exactly, it is like that. Today, truly speaking, I'm very serious. You disagree with me? Have you ever read this book? It is Tarikh al-Islam wal-Muslimina في أسر أموية في أسر أموية, that is from 41 after Hijrah to 132 after Hijrah. This is all what it is. The book is 300 and I think 33 pages, and it was printed in 1418, that is 26 years ago. I'm sure I might have, it is hardcover, I might have bought it in London, because if you want hardcover, you don't get a lot of hardcover in Egypt. Could be I bought it in Egypt, I don't know. But hardcovers are more available in London. So this book covers a period of 91 years from 41 from the reign of Muawiyah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is already mentioned that this period is a period of mulk, al-maluk, but he established the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, if you read this book, I think there were about how many of them? I think 14. Yeah, 14 of them. From Muawiyah to the last one, Marwan ibn Muhammad. From 127 to 132. Only how many of them followed the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Yes, I know we are full of controversy, opinion. So take it to yourself, but know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned that anybody who lives not in the standard, the practice, the thinking, the activities, in the first 34 years after Hijrah, he is just a joker. Well, individually, yes, it's true. You have to know how to save yourself from the disgrace in the hereafter. And the only way is to isolate yourself from the Ummah, Islamically, but not on Mu'amila. You can't do that. Let us make distinction, please. I say it's a science. Okay, I'm trained, brought up to discriminate and never say that a nucleus is the same as a proton. How many of them is your own understanding, but definitely Muawiyah is good. Then Suleiman ibn Abdul Malik, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and some of them, probably Hisham ibn Abdul Malik, Yazid Naqis ibn Walid, but the rest are terrible. So imagine in a period of how many? 91 years. You can write down, if you have the book, you can know the period. And this was the warning of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that there will be 12 Khalifas. Only 12. 4 initially, and then 8 later. So where are we today? I'm just trying to show you the intensity, the depth, the blackness. ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرجته لن يكد يراه ومن لم يجعل له نورا فما له من نور. This is all what is important. For over 1,000 years, or almost 1,000 years, 1,400 years, 1,300 plus, or 1,300, we have been misbehaving. And it is persisting. Do you think it will ever stop? Well, remember the conversation between Allah and the hell. هل امتلأتي؟ هل من مزيد? Or between the angel you decide to understand. هل من مزيد? So we are in a serious situation, we Muslims, and you cannot deny it. I have that experience. To give you an example, in my hometown KATSINA, I lived. I know the situation. We are young and educated, but we observed the obligatory sunnah. There was only one central mosque close to Kofasaru. My relations from Morawa, which is around maybe 6 miles from KATSINA or 8, and the Cafe Rabo will walk to the mosque for Friday prayers. Now, if they had known the condition of observing Friday prayer, could the scholars and the emas allow that? That is the question. I have to confess that my great-grandfather Usman did not actually, I don't think he ever commented that this is innovation. It is not allowed. Except the one who came on Thursday to spend the night, and then even that one is a traveler. You see, the whole problem is that we don't know this Islam, and we pretend we know it. And if one says it is not correct, he is an enemy to the society. So what is the value of our life? Individually, it is valuable. You know, you have to know how to adjust to circumstances and run away from innovations. Kufr, hypocrisy. That's the truth about it. So the multiplicity of the mosques, again, is dictated by observing Friday prayer at the same time. I watched this in Egypt, because every year I used to go to Egypt to buy Islamic books. I watched this. What of in Nigeria, in my hometown KATSINA, where we from the clan of Madam Usmana are proud of the knowledge he had. He had knowledge according to his own conveniences and opportunities, but not according to my own conveniences and opportunity. Please let us respect this. The father was a pharmacist. I'm a doctor. I rely on his profession, but he doesn't rely on my profession. The drugs must be available. So, you see, unless we understand our limits and our opportunities, weakness, and the threats around us, that is hellfire, we can't go anywhere. And there must be respect of knowledge. Still, the Friday prayer is not observed according to the Sunnah. Look at Saudi Arabia. They say the world is from 1154 to 1233. The first call is made around 1202 and the prayer 1203. Look at this gap. So look at, you see, how uninterested we are in reviving the Sunnah, which is the primordial, the base of forgiveness of Allah and the repentance. All these things your people are saying, the scholars, make a dua, is rubbish. While you persist on innovation, let's distinct between innovation, kufr, shirk. Innovation is the supreme, destroys everything. While if you are a kafir, you are a mushrik. You can actually be pardoned by Allah. Because if you realize your mistakes, you correct. But an innovator will never suffice to lead the Ummah on the platform, the corridor leading to paradise. So who will ever disagree with me that we are no better than the period of ignorance before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent as messenger, and before he migrated to Medina? So my brothers, you cannot deny that. I had the same experience in Zaria, where I'm from Tukutukur, on Friday. I think we usually leave Bariwa College or Government College, Zaria, around 10 o'clock. We trek to the Emma's Palace. Sometimes you cannot put your forehead on the ground because extremely hot, sweating. You observe Friday prayer. Look at this. There is no mosque in Tukur for Friday prayer. I'm not saying it is not correct, because ideally for 16 years, 16 good years, the only place where Friday prayer was observed is Masjid Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because it is not an Maktub. So look at all these distinctions, and you are not allowed to pass over a mosque to another mosque to observe Friday prayer, because it is done only once. So look at all these mistakes, how the expansion of Kaaba, rubbish. The expansion of Masjid Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, rubbish. What? Accommodate what? It's not allowed. Kaaba is not, it's a symbol. It's a symbol, with the angels making their own tawaf. That's why they said tawaf is prayer. How long does it take you to finish your tawaf? They said Umrah takes an hour. In your life, if you make tawaf once, that is enough. So, but look at how interest, capitalism, has brought innovation as a sky in our society, in the Muslim Ummah. How many? I think two or three stories you make tawaf around that. Rubbish. So, you see what I'm saying? That this question of caliphate, forget about it. What are the shurut of caliphate? الذين إن مكناهم في الأرض أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر ولله عاقبة الأمور. That is the condition. الذين إن مكناهم في الأرض, if they are established tamkin, grounded, أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة, because they are the same, you can't separate them. So what is tamkin? In the caliphate, in the authority. So there are three things that are inseparable: tamkin, aqamu salat, wa ita'i zakat, wa nahaw anil munkar, wa amruna bil ma'ruf. So these, they are inseparable. So, why is the evidence that Monday Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam insisted that Abu Bakr must lead that particular prayer, probably to Subuh, because he had the voice, or Maghrib, Umar ibn Khattab and said, look, who is Umar? You see, if the command, the khubur, let's say khubur initially, it's the news, it's just a statement that go and look for Abu Bakr Siddiq to lead the prayer. It's not sunnah. But the sunnah here agrees with the khubur. So here, this hadith or command amr is the same as the sunnah. But in his own presence, in his own time, the command was not established. The sunnah was not established. The sunnah was established, but not the sunnah based on his command, amr. They prayed the prayer. Definitely Umar will never have had innovated. But he said, no. The khubur here is the primary, is the shurut. And then, who is our leader? How can we choose somebody else to lead us? While Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam chose Abu Bakr to lead us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is impossible. We choose somebody else beside him. Who is Umar? Who is any one of them? So look at this simple example. Titration we don't even know. And when you are told, you say, we have no interest. And in all those, in this book, described as establishing the caliphate, you read that they have established the prayers. The Umayyads were accused of delaying the obligatory prayers. And one of the praises on Umar ibn Abdul Aziz is that he established the obligatory prayers according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which is prayers are begun after Bilal descended from the pulpit. I don't know how many seconds. I don't know. But immediately Bilal or Maktoum descended from the pulpit, Rasulullah will begin the Iqamah. Look at what we are doing. So forget about the caliphate, please. It can never be established because of our illiteracy and arrogance. Assalamu alaikum.